Hey guys, welcome back to the Paper Lion. It's Gypsy. Welcome back to my current subscribers and all of you who are new here today. Welcome to you as well. What I'm going to do, if you guys have been following along with me, about a week or so ago, I made a video about maximizing tags. Then I took those tags and then showed you guys a torn napkin technique. Now I'm going to take it a step further and I'm going to turn two of these into a little booklet or journal, just so you can see that there is lots of ways that you can use the projects that I have been showing you guys. So anyway, I'm going to decide which way I want it. Since I want my binding to be here and I don't want it to cover the image, I am going to do it this way. So this is how mine is going to be. So I've already got my little booklet, my pages and stuff together that I did that off camera. And I've got some ribbon, and then I also have a little piece of fabric to help keep it in place. And then I also am going to be using for the interior this beautiful little page from this coloring book that I have, an Inky Quest in coloring book. It's called Enchanted Forest by Johanna Bosson. Gorgeous, gorgeous images in there. I bought this at a sale, so it already had some colored images already going on in there, which I'll probably end up using those in some of my something anyway, because it's already pretty. Whoever did the coloring did a pretty good job, so that's definitely something that's a bonus that I can use in a journal. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys that I absolutely love that book. I know they still sell those books at Hobby Lobby, so if you guys are interested in something like that, you can still find it. Alright, so anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and work on the interior of my cover first. And because I want a ribbon closure, I'm going to go ahead and straighten out some of my seam binding and glue it here in the middle before I start. Actually, let me cut out my pages first. That way, let's see, how do I want to do that? Yes, let's go ahead and cut the images out first. So let's do that. Let's do that. So we are going to cut around here. Just going to take this and we're going to try to save as much of this as possible so that I can use that throughout the book. I've got some sewing here, so I don't want to get that sewing. I don't want to cut that off. I want to keep that little character there, so let's go ahead and cut around here as close as possible. How are you guys doing today? Hope you're doing good. Today is Tuesday. If you hear a little bit of noise in the background, I apologize. The groundsmen are out there with their blowers. They seem to target. They seem to love doing it when I am recording. Oh, school is almost back in session. Okay. I could have just gone back and rounded those corners. Let me see if I have my rounding little corner rounder here. I do. It'd be much easier than trying to, do it on my own. All right. So we got that one for that side. Actually, that's the wrong side. There we go. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that. I kind of want to get this mushroom on here, so I'm going to cut it around this way just so I can get that mushroom in there. And this is like a fun little interactive thing to put in some of your journals. If you have like coloring pages, you know, that gives them something to doodle on. And, you know, it might even be a starting point for them to get started in the actual journal, you know, because sometimes it takes just one step for your creative juices to start flowing. And sometimes people buy journals and they get, you know, to that first page and they're like, what in the heck am I supposed to do? So if you get a coloring page in there, something that they can doodle or color on, then that just gives them a little bit more confidence to get started in their new journal. Oh, I was able to get 2 mushrooms in that one. Yay. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and add some ink to this. Give that a little bit of distressing. All right, so before I add my ribbon, I am actually going to flip these over and we're going to add our, okay, so we want it, make sure you have it the way you want it before you start gluing anything down. So it's going to be there, and I'm going to separate these just a little bit so that there is just enough room for the spine. My spine is not very thick. Well, my signature is not very thick. It's only going to be the one signature for this little small one. So I've got my piece of linen that I've already done. So I am just going to go through here and add some glue. Of course, in the background, I've got some Lofi Hip Hop Chill going. I seem to be more creative when I'm listening to that. And it's just like a nice rhythm, nice flow. And this is the medieval version. I'll link the description or link the video. Okay. Just get that right there. And then leave, I'm going to do a little bit extra on this front here. Okay, so and I am going to be doing a hidden like signature. I absolutely love my hidden signatures because I don't like sometimes the way I bind things. Okay, so I'm basically just going to be leaving enough in there so that there's enough for my signature to go in between there. Okay. All right, now that we know the spacing and everything, let's just make sure that this is lined up correctly before it completely dries. Let me add a little more glue because I do want the front and the back. Front and back covers. Actually, let's just do this like this. No, because it won't. Well, we can. Let's see. Okay, we're going to figure it out, guys. And just make sure that that's going to line up. There we go. All right. Now we can go ahead and press that down fully. Okay. Now that we have that set, now we can go in and make sure we glue our ribbon down. We're going to leave out enough to tie on that side. And I had done the wrinkle technique on this, so I'm having this pulling it taut so that it won't be wrinkled. Okay, and then we're just gonna, we can go ahead and put a little there, and then just kind of carry that on. It doesn't matter if a little bit of extra glue gets somewhere else because we're going to cover this anyway. Okay. All right, and then we'll cut some of this excess off. This seam binding is so hard to find, at least for me, because my Hobby Lobby doesn't sell it, and I don't live near Joann, so I don't know if they sell it or not. So definitely like trying to keep a hold to that. All right, so we're just going to, do I have my bone folder over here? I should have my bone folder over here, but of course I don't, as always. So anyway, just gonna use my scissors. Make sure that that's as flat as it can be before I go through and add. And I'm also going to run over the stitches a little bit. And then we are just now going to decide which image we want on the front cover and which one we want on the back cover. I think I want the mushrooms on the front cover for them to see as soon as they open it up. All right, so we're just going to go through here. See, I cut that just a little shy on this one. Probably the same on that one as well. Just make sure you put your shy in toward the interior. Make sure this is the right way. This one came out fine. I guess my eyes weren't working with the other one when I was cutting the other one. I was too busy focused on trying to get those toadstools in there, and I wasn't focusing very much on my cutting. But it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. All right, so now we're almost there. We got our cover. And like I said, I went ahead and stitched that, and I'm just going to take a second to blow my own horn, because a lot of you who have been on this channel know that I got a sewing machine less than 4 months ago, and so I've been trying to, teach myself how to sew. Look at that line, y'all. Just look at how straight that line is. I am so proud of myself. Whoop! Anyway, so now we can put our signature in here. Let's set that to the side because now I got to thread my thread, and I made with a little bit of copper wire. I made just a homemade threader. Let me see. Let me find my embroidery. So basically, it's so easy. If you don't have one of those threaders, you can make one using a little bit of wire, and it works just as good. I'm not going to bother doing like any major stitching or anything like that. I'm just going to get it in there because it's going to be hidden anyway. So I'm basically just going to make sure it's lined up. And because this one is, it is big enough for me to do like a little, three-hole pamphlet stitch. I was going to do just a regular stitch. Well, I guess I should, since I'm going to do it like that. Might as well give myself like a little bit of a guideline. Using my vintage tool that I got. I think it was like a dentist tool or something like that. Okay, so we're just going to bring that in. And then now let me give myself a hole down here. When you're binding signatures, you can be as formal or as informal as you want to if you're doing like a hidden, hidden binding. I don't like to do, if you're doing a hidden binding. If you're going to be having your binding show, then of course you can go through and use like the little templates and stuff that some of the YouTubers use, which is fine however you decide you want to do it. But for me, I usually use hidden bindings, so I don't worry too much about, like placement and all that kind of stuff because nobody's going to see it anyway. All right, so now we've got that in there. That was simple and quick. Let's go ahead and cut some of this off. You can come back and you can add some beads to that, whatever you want to do with that, but right now I'm just going to secure it so that we can finish this off. I like to double wrap my second knot and leave that tail on there. Okay, so now we have that. You can choose to get rid of that. You can leave it on there for a little extra fluff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this. I don't know if you guys saw the video where I talked about getting some stuff from the closeout from when the 99-cent store went out of business. But this came from there. I got this roll, I think, for like $0.25 during their sale. Anyway, so I'm just going to cut a little piece of that. And I kind of want to make it to where I can see a little bit of this white, this linen under it. So I'm just going to kind of stagger this like this. And then I'll probably end up scrunching it up a bit. Okay. And that way I can still see a little bit of that. Actually, let's make sure this is going to be right. But then let's go through and scrunch that back just a little bit so we can see some of this up and down here. Sometimes you have to just play with your stuff to get it to exactly where you want it to be. There is no right or wrong with this. And because this is going to cover up too much, I may actually trim this a little bit. But I do want to make sure that this is made out of paper. So I do want to make sure everything is going to stay where it's supposed to stay. Get a little bit of movement there if I can. There we go. It did have a stitch down, but it's not like the greatest stitch. And again, it is paper. I cut off way too much. Okay. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to trim a little bit of this as well. Okay. It really doesn't matter to me if the back part where the linen can be seen, because I did make that shorter on purpose. Just want to make sure we get enough glue on here to where it stays. I know it's a little ambitious using paper, especially crepe paper, for your border, but since this is not a very heavy little booklet, I think it should be okay. All right, and that is it. Got your little booklet there. You can open it up. If you don't like that, because that is a little bit, the signature ended up being a little bit, I always just come back when I have spots like that that I don't particularly like. And I come back, let me see if I can find one over here really quick. Oop, that just means a lot of stuff that went flying that I didn't like or didn't want to go flying. It just went flying. So I just gave myself an extra job, but that's okay. So I just usually take a little doily that's about the same size as whatever booklet that I'm using. And I'm just going to fold it in half. Because nothing ever truly goes 100% correct. So, and it's okay. You just have to sometimes learn how to, you know, alter your things, you know, and get them to where you want them to be. And there is absolutely no harm in that. Okay, so we're just going to stick that in there. And let's see if we need to do it to the back. Crafting is imperfect work. Imperfect work made to look perfect. So like whoever buys this journal, this little mini journal from me at Market, will not have a clue. And it's okay. All right. I'll go back and glue a little, well, I can do it now. Why wait? Glue that in place. And there we have it, guys. Now there we really have it. I'll go back and decorate this later, a little bit later. I'll probably add some little jewels to his eyes or something like that. May add some buttons or something to embellish it a little bit more. But there we are. We have a cute little booklet put together, made from 2 of the tags that we mass made on this channel. Anyway, guys, if you like this tutorial, you like this little video, please leave me a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe. It helps the channel out really well. You know, share this. If you see something on my channel that you think others will like, share it. You know, I want to give out a shout to someone who shared my my grunge splatter technique on Instagram. I appreciate you for doing that, because every little bit of exposure helps the channel, guys. It helps us to grow as a little community. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!